Da da da. A-O-M-A.
And call you guys.
A country with an island vibe. I swear I had a nice. And yeah, we just down all night. Mixing the 5-acre beats with eyes. So Tony got the whole place hype. And we celebrating life. Coffee in the morning, so we toast it. Say we just fine aisle, but emotion. No, we ain't boasting. No. Oh no. I ain't going nowhere. I love this place. U-I-N-A. Oh no. Welcome to Moko Moko. Every country want friendship, like the village on the East Bank. But you can't hang if you ain't gang. For my first interview, I tell police gangs. And I brought the bag, my passport, you got it stamp. You can't answer Brad if you can't answer yard. We gon' catch it when it's good, cause we say when it's hard. Not for them, live in country and people don't spend it long. Them under them is proud, up for them sell the land. For pay rent on another land. When Guyana got a lot of land, but they blame the government. But this nation got God cover us. Blessing on everyone, listen brother man. Put 2 and 2 together, don't listen to the one. Some of them just like alcohol, heap of stuff. Anywhere we go, we just run. Buy this a GT the boy, yeah, we got the team with blood, so. Oh no, I ain't going nowhere. I love this place. G-Y-N-A. Oh no, welcome to Moko Moko. Oh yeah, yeah, a country with an island vibe. I swear I had a nice, and yeah, we the down all night. Mixing the 5-acre beats with eyes. So Tony got the whole place hype. And we celebrating life. Coffee in the morning, so we toast it. Say we just fine aisle, but emotion. No, we ain't boasting. No, oh no, I ain't going nowhere. I love this place. G-Y-N-A. Oh no, welcome to Moko Moko. Oh yeah, a country with the island vibe. A country with the island vibe. This is a country with the island vibe. A country with the island vibe. I swear I had an eyes.
All right, all right. A wonderful good night to each and every one of you that are locked in, and thank you for being here tonight. My apologies with the, I know the mute button is beyond sometime, but y'all know some persons might not know. However, I'm here tonight, and thank you for tuning in. It's Thursday night, and I know we're almost to the end of the week, and time flies so fast. Sometimes you can't catch yourself. You know, everything just flying so fast in this place, even to the development is just kicking up a pace all the time. You can't catch yourself. Anyway, I want to say good night to all my viewers here, and it's a pleasure to have you once more again. I know I had no program last night, and my apologies for not updating you. But let me tell you, last night I was extremely tired. As a matter of fact, I reached home very late last night, and I didn't want to, just come on the program late and looking all shabby and all kind of thing. Because, this is not something you just come on and do like this. I have to show respect for my viewers, my followers, and those who are, here with me to share the program. So I want to ensure everything is being done in a more professional way. So my apologies for last night. However, I'm here, and if I have to give you guys extra, because y'all know my friend Shakila Bridgelad, she don't play. She said, Kevin, you got to give me extra tonight. All right, so Lance Henry, good night to you, and thank you for tuning in. Jean Cornelius, good night to you. We have Nitu Miraj, good night. We have Dan Wati Lutan, good night. And of course, Omar Sharif, good night to you, sir. So do the honor for me, guys, as I will always ask you, share the live. Click the likes button and click share. If you're in a WhatsApp group, you're in a Facebook group, wherever, you just share, 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 and let us get the message out there. So the first thing I want to ask, how many of us were on the vice president's press conference today? You know, that is something I want to encourage persons to do if you don't. I know some persons, they might be preoccupied during the course of the day, either by their own work at home, they're actually out in the fields or at school, wherever they are. You know, they might be busy. But what I wanted to encourage you to do, you know, from the time you have access to your device and once you have internet, you know, you go on the press conference and share the live. The purpose of it, and I keep saying the person, it's not about to give fame or name to anybody, but it's about getting the information out there. And I can guarantee you, every Thursday that you lock into the vice president's press conference, you have an entire week of information to move around with, because it's everything straight to the point in a nutshell, and you can gather whatever information you want to have there. And you guarantee 100% that the information that the vice president will share with you, it's information that is authentic and that will keep you up, especially when you have to deal with the naysayers out there. So you have to ensure that, you know, you must ensure that you equip yourself with the knowledge, so that when persons come out there to distract you, you know, and tell you something opposite to what you know or opposite to what you're seeing, you can represent that. So that is the purpose of having access to the information. That is the purpose of, you know, locking in on the press conference. If you didn't get a chance to listen it during the day because of other responsibilities, you can do so in the night. I will also be time and time giving you an update or going into the details of the press conference and some points that might have been mentioned and that I believe is necessary for me out there as well. I mean, the entire press conference is necessary, but there are some strong points that persons must get, and sometimes persons might not understand it, so I can go into details and break it down. However, if you have any question or questions in pertaining to that, feel free to call in at any time, the number below, or you can message me on WhatsApp as well. You know, if you have a concern, you already said something, you need some clarity. I don't guarantee you I have the all the answers, but I guarantee you I can get the answers to be answered. If not by me, I can make contact to various entities, or for instance, if it's from the vice president directly, I can have some clarity from him, so I can share with you as well. Right? So let us go into discussions here tonight, guys. And once more, I ask you before we start, please share the live. So they have a few things. I captured a few things here that I want to touch on. And the first thing I want to touch on is in relation to the Ministry of Labor and the workers, or the whether it is private or whether whether it's from the business entity, private, or you're working with the government as well, from the private, either from the private sector or you're working with the administration. So this is a little clip from the Department of Public Information (DPI) of what they would have gathered, and we can go into some discussion after the video. So let me just run the video with you, and then we can go into discussion from that.
Over the last 4 years, the Ministry of Labor has extended tremendous support to unpaid workers. Since 2020, the ministry has retrieved over $200 million for workers who were denied pay. Of this figure, $31.7 million was recovered in 2024. Minister of Labor Joseph Hamilton announced these figures at a recent press briefing held at the ministry's head office on Tuesday. The minister reported that companies engaging in fraudulent activities are frequently changing names.
When they rob people, 2024, next year in 2025, they change the company name to another name. A lot of the security companies, the name they started with, I can tell you that is not the name they have 5 years or 10 years.
Despite this issue, the ministry has made notable efforts to lower the number of labor complaints through constant outreaches and their recently launched labor app.
Many persons are intimidated to come and make a formal report to the Labor Department about their circumstances at their workplace. This app has allowed them to be able to make those reports so that the Ministry of Labor Department can intervene.
Minister Hamilton further assured that all remaining labor cases will be investigated and addressed. Efforts to lower the number of labor complaints.
All right, guys. So I guess I know a lot of persons have some discussions in relation to that, or a lot of concerns, and that is a soaring issue that needed to be addressed a very long time. I think it is due time, and I myself is so happy to actually see this is being addressed, because in many cases, and even right here in Linden, there's tons and tons of reports, of persons working and not getting paid. And also there's a lot of reports out there where people are working under some bad conditions. And I don't know if any of this, I can attest to it, and I wouldn't sit here to say yes for a name or to justify it. But I'm not sure if this process also was in Linden. And I wouldn't want to believe so as well, because if it did happen in Linden, I mean, if persons were called in Linden for this, then I believe as well that a lot of more work need to be done in Linden here, specifically at the Chinese supermarkets, right? I've mentioned this couple programs ago. I think it was sometime last year in 2024, where I received numerous reports and complaints of some Chinese supermarket where, if a staff going to work 5 or 10 minutes late, they deducting $500 and $1,000, and also where they're making NIS deductions out of these persons' salaries on a weekly basis, and then these persons they weren't even registered under the registered with NIS. They don't have an NIS account. They don't have a NIS card. All right. So if this is happening, then how come are you making deductions when these persons don't even have an NIS card or an account? So these are things need to be reported. Another thing is the working conditions here in Linden that I've seen. I'm speaking based on what I know and what I've seen. These workers are being bullied from their time. I was told at a famous outlet, or a famous cosmetic store, where the workers only have 15 minutes for lunch, right? I don't care what nobody said. The laws of Ghana, or the labor laws of Ghana, through the collective labor agreement, the CLA, is that you are entitled to 1 hour lunch despite wherever you're working, unless you and that company or that business, wherever you're working, have an agreement that you're going to work 15 minutes or you're going to work 30 minutes, and we will pay you for that half hour, or we will pay you for that 45 minutes, right? Otherwise than that, if you're not being paid for your time, you are entitled, lawfully entitled, to 1 hour lunch. And please know this is law. So if you're watching here tonight and you are being bullied to 15 minutes or 30 minutes only, of lunchtime, please ensure that you report this. That's another thing. Persons don't want to report because they're afraid that they might lose their job and so on. All right, I understand. So we're gonna ensure that a hotline is being put out there. But you can also use my forum as an hotline. Send the information to me. What's the name of the company? What's the name of the business where you work in and what is happening? And I will ensure that I prepare a report and send it directly to the Minister of Labor, the Honorable Joseph Hamilton. And I can assure you this will be addressed. Don't allow people to take advantage of you. Know your rights. Right? That's the problem in Ghana. A lot of persons don't know their rights, and because of this, they're being taken advantage on. You know, we were at a particular or famous cosmetic store in Linden here, where these some of these workers are being treated as if they're slaves or they're little children, right? They're children. Imagine they're going to the washroom and they have to sign for the key. They have to wait until the boss say when they can go to the washroom. And this is female. We're talking about females, not the males, right? Um, these kind of working condition is unacceptable, and we have to understand, especially particularly to the business entity or those businesses out there, you have to understand that your staff is also valuable just as much as the customers, right? So don't treat them like that. Don't treat them as if they're beasts. Don't treat them as if they're begging, because they are there and they are the one that they're helping you to make or to earn a daily living and to provide the public with goods and services, right? So please respect your staff as well. Also, there's a certain issues when it comes to the security companies, right? There's a certain issue when it comes to the security companies, and I believe for some reason this is not being addressed. Now, the area where I'm living, um, it's approximately 10 minutes drive, right? And if persons know 10 minutes drive is equivalent to almost 1 hour walking. Let me tell you that. At least 10 minutes away this drive, right? Almost, you might not believe, right? And or let us say 30 minutes. Let's say half hour. Don't let me exaggerate, right? And I'm seeing security guards changing shift. In the day, it's okay, but it's for matter of fact, it's not okay at any time, because in the day the sun is very hot and so on, right? And I'm seeing some of these security guards that are working at various locations has to be walking those long distance in the hot sun or in the rain or also in the night. The street don't have lights. It's not safe for them, and especially for females, right? My questions to this security company is, what measure or what system do you have in place? Just hold on for me. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. Yeah, good night. Could you call me back a couple of minutes? I'm on a program. Yes. So, what systems do you have in place? Right? These security companies, what system or systems you have in place for the safety of your, or I should say, the safety and the comfort of your staff. All right, you have to understand as well, like I mentioned, these staff is equally important just as the service you provide, because without them, you cannot guard all those locations that you may have, right? So you have to ensure that your workers are being treated well and treated with respect, and also you need to pay them on time. There's a growing issue of these security companies not paying their workers and not paying them on time and cutting the salaries and owing them and all these things. Now, I don't want to hear the nonsense that people are going to tell me that, oh, we could only pay them when the government pay we, or when we get paid. Sometimes we can't pay them because the government delayed the payment. Nonsense. I say that is nonsense. Hear what I say. Hear why I say that is nonsense. Since you are going into a business of such, or any business for a matter of fact, you must have a certain amount of collateral. You must have a certain amount of monies in your account that can offset your expenses for at least 2 to 3 months. You understand? Your staff should by no means have to feel the pressure or face the consequences of being not paid on time or at all because the government or whoever you work for delay your payment. You understand? So I don't want people to tell me, oh, it's because the government paid me late. No, that is unprofessional as you. That was unprofessional of you. And you know the jail can't practice this out of Guyana, right? So don't bring the nonsense to say that, oh, that the government didn't pay you on time, because I know most of these security firms, they have contract with the government to overlook government buildings and schools and hospitals, whatever, right? So don't tell us that, oh, that you didn't get paid on time. You must have a certain amount of income that you can offset those expenses of your staff, right? Remember, these people have expenses just as you, they have families just as you, right? And their family needs to be fed. So I'm so happy to see that the ministry would have stepped in and retrieved over $200 million in outstanding monies that were owed to workers. Workers were literally robbed. But I'm hoping that this was a transparent process as well, because they have some companies who have very close ties to governments and to officials. And because of that, they are being exempted, or they feel like they are above the law, right? That should never happen. Not because you got a connection to somebody in government to mean that you can rob your workers, right? You have to pay your workers. They are working hard and they need to be paid as well, right? So I am so happy to see, once again, I'm so happy to see that the Ministry of Labor is stepped in, had stepped in, and they're dealing with these matters um, as urgent as possible, because like I said again, people needs to be paid, people need their monies, and people can't be waiting on you for your money, right? For their money, sorry, right? So besides that, there's a lot of other issues in relations to workers not being paid. And I myself, since I am now aware that the government is, the Ministry of Labor, through the government again, is stepping in to ensure that these persons are not being taken advantage on and they're being paid, I myself will be submitting some of these reports that I have. And I'm encouraging persons here tonight, if you know you have, um, if you know that you have been taken advantage on, if you know that you're not being paid, please make contact with me. Let me have the necessary information. I guarantee you it will be confidential. I would ensure that I report this. Also, there's complaints of persons who would have worked in the interiors and these boss people not paying them. You know, some of them beat them up, put them out the back dam, and all these things. Let me urge y'all about. Let me encourage y'all, for a matter of fact, when you are going into a Baghdad to work, especially it's a mining camp, ensure that you, even if you don't have a smartphone, ensure that you equip yourself with certain information. The name of your boss is important. Well, you might not have access to their address, but every mining camp, right? If you don't know, every mining camp has a license number, and it is important that, for a matter of fact, by law, these mining camps must, at the top of their pole, and they will put the mining camp or the dredge number up top there, right? Or the mining license number, which some would be GD 4785, whatever. If you don't have certain information, ensure you have that concession or that camp number, that you keep it. Because here why, let us say for instance you go to work with somebody and you can't remember the name, or you didn't know the name, or they give you a wrong name, you could submit that number to the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, and immediately they enter that in the system and they know who's the miner, right? And then again, you still have to ensure, or for matter of fact, you have to hope that you're not unlucky, because um, there's a lot of corrupt individuals in these systems as well. Sometimes you take a report to them, and unfortunately, it's one of their friend, and they gonna contact the friend and say, yeah, you know, the cook went pay, she say you don't pay she, and this and that, and then you never hear back from them as well, right? So please ensure that these people are being paid, right? Also, I have a report that is being submitted to me where a young man has worked with a particular a ministry, and he said that he's not being paid. um, I must raise it, because if I'm speaking about this, like I said, I have to be fair enough. But I would not go into details. But I know the individual who's responsible at that ministry for the man's payment, which is the Ministry of Armenian Affairs. The individual who know themselves or know himself and responsible for the young man's payment, please make contact with him very urgent. The man is reaching out to me on a regular basis. And the man said the ministry have for him $180,000. And the man is desperate because his child is not well. The man went so far to offer me part of his payments just so he gets some money. I made it clear to him. I said I don't get involved in those things. My position is to help you. I don't care what is your amount, to help you get your money. You work hard for it, right? So please ensure that this young man is being paid. Don't let this has to escalate where persons might be embarrassed. And more so, when you do these nonsense within these ministries, these staff do these things, these nonsense in these ministries, at the end of the day, it reflects on the government. The government get a bad name, and then the government knows nothing about the transaction or what transpired between those staff and those who were employed and hadn't got paid, right? So I'm asking again publicly, please ensure you make contact with this young man. I can't pull up his let me see if by chance I could quickly locate his name, his Facebook name. Let me see. I can't pull it up right away. But the last time the man made contact with me, it was in sometime in before Christmas. Right? Before Christmas, the man made contact with me. And it was asking, he was literally begging me to help him get his money because his daughter is not well. And this is so sad. Right? I can't pull it up. I would really like to pull it up here, but I will find it. I will find it. Anyway, guys, moving on. Good night, Gita Prasad. Thank you for tuning in. Arjun Jawahir, good night to you. Dave Gear, good night, my brother. Selena Motiram, good night to you. Ann Hill and Carlos Bastian. How long I haven't heard and seen you, my brother. But you are here. Good night to you, Carlos. Asad Kevin Gittins, good night to you. Musa Ramdas, good night. And everyone else who were tuning in, if you didn't hear me call you out, I'm not seeing your name here, but a special good night to you. All right, so let us jump on another topic here. And this is a topic as it relates to a particular village. For a matter of fact, it's an Armenian settlement here in Linden. But let me just run the video first, and then I will go into details and explain to you what transpired prior and what is going on now. So just listen attentively to the video.
The community of Rockstone in Region 10 is on its way to securing its land title, thanks to the government's accelerated efforts. On Wednesday, Ministers Pauline Sukai, Vikram Bharat and Onej Walrand held a community engagement, one aspect of the finalization process. This element of the Amerindian land titling project allows the community members to ask questions, raise concerns, and provide their input.
It's an overwhelming feelings for us to show. This has gone through generation. It has started since the 1994, and go up to 1997, make it 27 years now that the village has applied for title. And at least it's a joyous moment currently to see that it's coming to a closure. And with the visit of the three ministers, I can say something we've seen at the end, a light at the end of the tunnel.
Tushar Williams said the residents were engaged extensively on the matter. Once the titling process is complete, it will benefit the 300 residents. Minister Sukai also said challenges identified during the technical process were easily resolved and the land title is close to home.
The village or the community has agreed to the areas that they have identified. They've agreed to excise out those who have legal title to the land, and they have agreed to excise out those who are Amerindians and may have legal title to the land they now occupy. They'll excise out that.
Ministers Barrett and Walrond also committed to supporting the forestry and the tourism sectors in Rockstone.
So that situation there, it was a soaring issue for a very long time. And I must say, on behalf of the village and the villagers of the Rockstone community, thank you to Minister Pauline Sukai and the government of Guyana for finally resolving this issue. I serve as a regional community development officer for Region 10 under the Ministry of then Indigenous Peoples Affairs. And Rockstone was one of the area that was under my watch and under my responsibility. Now, if you guys can recall that I think it was a few nights ago, I mentioned about the dictatorship of the PNC while I serve as community development officer. Rockstone was one of the community that was grossly neglected and bullied by the PNC. There's a particular woman I must highlight here, because somewhere along the line she will see this live and somebody will let her know, or somebody who's watching this live might know. There was a particular woman in Rockstone who used to kick up a steam. The lady used to tell me that this is she black people government in power. That is from 2020 back to 2015. She used to tell me that not under she black man government, no Buckman gonna come and take over Rockstone. This lady stood up and told me that in an outreach that I went to meet with the people of the village. You understand? Good night, Stanley Hamilton, Padma Balwan, and Elizabeth Ramcharan. This lady stood up in a meeting in the presence of those Amerindian people. And that's to show how brave she was. And that's to show that she had no regards, no respect. And she was covering under people like Sandra Adams and the now original chairman and the vice chairman and all of them. You understand? And even, I must not leave out the AFC councillor, the AFC member of parliament. Right? This lady stood up in a meeting and tell me, she said, not you, Kevin Lorma. We know you as a PPP sheltering under the APNU. She said, you now gonna come to this village under my black man government to take away we land to give it to no Buck people. You understand? Just imagine this lady, how she spoke in that meeting. It's as if she was planted there. She prepared for me and they told her to tell me that. You understand? When I returned, I told the minister, the then Sydney Alicak, about it. And when I told him about it, he said, "Bye, let the thing rest." Right? And he never told me what transpired till after the appointment was voted out. It's because although Sidney Alikak served as Minister of Armenian Affairs then, or Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, there was on many occasions where he didn't have a voice. You understand? He didn't have a voice. So if the minister can tell me to stand down after several visits with the village, which one of their major concern is having the land titling or having the legal ownership for the boundary of Rockstone to fall under a titled village land. So the people of Rockstone suffered by the hands of this woman. And also I want to mention that the RDC 10 also bullies the Rockstone village. Bully them by taking control of their tourism destination and all tourism activities that are happening in Rockstone. And you have the same people like the regional chairman and the others. And the same lady, now I tell y'all, who stood up in that meeting to tell me, right? The same lady who stood up in that meeting to tell me that this is a black man government and I can't do nothing. The lady is one of the biggest PVP in Linden right now. There ain't got nobody who's more PVP than this lady. You understand? And I want her to be reminded. You understand? I want Ms. Braffett to be reminded. So I'm hoping that she will see this tonight. And I want her now to retaliate, to tell me which government know that the Armenian people of Rockstone will not have their land titling. I'm so happy to see that the government would have stepped in, because over 27 years, this has been a pending issue in Rockstone. And I'm happy that the minister, Pauline Sukai, and the members of the village council and the villagers and those in the surroundings would have find a way to resolve this. Because one of the issues, or the issue, is that people were claiming to have legal ownership of lands in there. And remember, in order for a community to be a titled village land, under the Ministry of Armenian Affairs, the entire property will fall under a boundary that belongs to the village, and nobody individually has ownership to any property or any land. Specifically, anybody would have no ownership to any land in the village. And at the end of the day, the lands will belong to the village council of Rockstone, or any village, for matter of fact. So persons were aware of this, that once Rockstone become a titled Amerindian community, then therefore they will not have legal ownership of those property or those lands. And for the matter of fact, there was nobody that had any legal document as to say this land belongs to us or belongs to me. They were just claiming ownership of those property because of the years they would have lived them, or the years they would have lived there. I want person to understand, it doesn't mean that because you live on a land for so much years, it belongs to you. Yes, back before, there was something called prescriptive rights, which gives you the right to the property after 7 years. But I'm not sure if that is still lawful. I'm not sure about that. But I am so happy now to see that Rockstone is finally going to be having legal ownership to their titled land. Rockstone is basically one of the main community in Region 10 highlighted for tourism. And I'm so happy now to see that Rockstone will be taking full control of that. You have the fish festivals that happens in there. You have other activities that happen in there. But the people of Rockstone do not benefit. It's like people going into a community, come out and take everything and they're gone. I'm so happy now that Rockstone, and I'm hoping with the village council, will be working on different systems in place to ensure they protect their boundaries and to ensure that every single activity or activities in there, the village council has the final say in organizing or whatever. Do not be bullied and controlled by the RDC in Linden here, the APNU RDC. Good night to you, Geeta Prasad. Thank you for tuning in. I'm always, in this kind of, I'm always trying to find a way working with that village at the previous to show they had their, what's his name? Flagon Charter. He's the deputy to show. That's another thing I can't understand. I want to say this publicly. You serve as two consecutive terms. You serve as two show, and you come back as deputy two show. That is unlawful. Council, village council, y'all gotta know y'all rights. You understand? Give somebody else a chance. You become complacent after time. It is good, yes, to serve and to lead, but after a certain time, you have to know when to walk away. Allow the village to grow. When you serve your time and you allow people to come into the system, it means that you allow leaders to grow. The more leaders that you have within your respective villages or community is a better environment and stable state or a stable community you will have. So I'm so happy for Rockstone. I definitely will visit there. Yes, I had an encounter with my family, but my family would not be going there with me because I don't want to experience that again. But I definitely will be paying the village council a visit and have a discussion with the Tushao and see how I can work with them on the way forward, apart from the government's full input into that. I will share my expertise and experience with them because I want to see that particular village grow. It has so much potential. So much potential that village has. So the lady who decided now that not under a black man government, Roxanne would never get a title. I want to know what she's saying now because she claimed to be a strong stalwart of the Indian man. Well, don't let me use that term, Indian man government. But she claimed to be now a stalwart of the People's Progressive Party Civic. You understand? So, once again, thanks to the government of Guyana and Minister Pauline Sukai, and also accompany Minister Pauline Sukai, we had Minister Vikram Bharat and also Minister Onit Waldron, who is the Minister of Tourism. And it was a fruitful outreach in that community, on that village as well. So Stanley, I saw Stanley and a few persons talking about James Bond endorsing. Yes, I saw that. Let me run it for you for a matter of fact.
People, why y'all tell me?
Wrong one. Let me run this for you.
James Bond. I thought you come and tell them you support, make sure you support me in the next election. President Daddy is one person who's always remembered me. From since he was a minister, he's always remembered me. He's been a friend to me. And I'm giving you a second term. I said I'm publicly served.
Thank you so much, Mr. James Bond. Well, y'all know James Bond card duck. Y'all know I've been not going to shake your hand for nothing. James Bond, well, I could imagine going on the other side right now. James Bond can turn a house slave, he can turn this, he can turn that, and all kind of thing. The man would have publicly endorsed the president on going for a second term. He made it very clear that he will be supporting President Ali on a second term. So, a lot of people is coming to the senses. A lot of people coming to the senses. For matter of fact, um, probably later, probably prior to 2020, but I believe 2020 beyond um, James Bond would have been, a sober-minded persons, and there's some things that he, you know, have been saying out there, endorsing the president and so on. So I'm happy to see James coming out publicly endorsing the president. And I tell you personally, I had various encounters with James, and we did programs together and so on. And he's always a positive person, and that's what I like with the individual. He stand his ground, but he say it as it is. So to see James coming out now to publicly endorse the president is something good to see, something good to hear. And let me tell you all this. Yeah, don't worry, y'all. Many more will be coming out to endorse. Many more will be supporting. Many more will be crossing the floor. I can remember when I resigned from the coalition. I tell them one thing. I said I'm just the beginning. Many more will come after me. I get a royal cuss out for that, but I don't care. You know, People don't want to. Y'all think that people want to stay under this attitude of sufferation. Y'all think that people want to continue to suffer. The coalition, they forget everybody. They didn't take care of the people. So what do you expect? People want to eat. People got family to feed, right? And they're not running behind the government because they want a handout or they want a cash grant. People see that their needs are being met. People see that the PPPC government is the best government for Guyana. That the people people see that the government is providing for them and their families. So people will come out to support. So yeah, don't get jealous. Don't cuss out the man. The man entitled to freedom of speech. The man entitled to freedom of choice, and the man could choose whoever he wants to support. No need for the cuss out. You understand? So James, I am happy to see you endorsing our president, and I'm I'm even eagerly awaiting to see you on the campaign train along with us, James. I personally will ensure that I keep a red shirt for you, right? But yeah, don't stress. I will be bringing James on the program sometime soon, so that will be a very nice conversation to have, right? That would be a nice conversation to have James on. So anyway, guys, one more. I would like to just raise one more thing. This is a video that was sent to me by an individual, and I just want to just highlight it a bit, and then we could have a few discussion. And if person want to call in, remember the number is at the bottom of the screen. You can call in anytime.
People, why y'all tell me if this truck driver head good, or the people or the police on the road, the authorities, see this truck and allow this truck? What they say? So watch. What this? Everything lean on once. I only for fall off part now. Yeah, what this? Everything what you everything lean on one side. What watch? Watch.
All right, guys. So that is that particular situation. There is another soaring, is an ice soaring issue here in Guyana and on our roadways. I saw the president and the now commissioner of police and some other ranks would have addressed this. That's after that guy, the truck ran over him on Sharp Street. And I was hoping that something really was going to happen. However, I'm not seeing it. I'm being very, very straight, and I'm not seeing it. Right? These trucks here, and like sometimes can't understand. Like the guy mentioned here, what the police is doing. The people ask what the police doing about it. I asked what the police is doing about it. Somebody said police can't see everything. Let me tell you what he's do with them. If y'all don't know y'all rights. I just wait for a safe space on a flat road. You understand? And I just drive up in front and slow down in front of them and slow down and stop right there. I don't care. Let them jump out and do what they want. Stop there and call the police. It is your rights to take care of yourself and your surroundings and your community. And if you see a truck in this condition, hey, as citizens of this country and concerned citizens, you have a right. You have a right to act on it. You understand? Call the police. Take photographs, take videos, and send it to the authorities. Because look at that truck. Loaded, the wood is on one side. You can see if that truck take a rash turn, what happened? The entire truck turn over. Then if not, it hold up the traffic. Somebody can actually lose their life. Somebody might be walking there. Somebody might be in their vehicle. The truck topple over the wood, cover them down inside, And these are things that are happening out there. And then you don't see anybody addressing it or doing anything about this. And this really needs to be addressed. This really needs to be addressed. I personally disact on it. I'm telling you. The other day, me and my wife was going to town. And there's this truck. You see what this man doing. This man going up a hill on a turn. Up a hill on a turn. Because the hill go up and then it's a turn. And this man overtaking another, this speed. And I started to record him. Drive up, catch him up, wrong another turn. This man hooking wrong the turn. This bike here, you could see something definitely wrong with this bike. And I drove behind him. I followed him until I almost reached at the outpost on the Linden Suzaik Highway. I overtake him, and then I slow down and stop him right in front of the outpost. And I came out of the car. I called the police officers. I said, y'all need to caution this guy. This man going on like a madman on the road. When I took out the video recordings and I showed the police, I said, look, here's the evidence. When the man jump out the truck, you're smelling the weed, you're smelling the romany. You understand? And these people are on our roadways, putting people's lives at risk. They're killing people. And these things need to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. So imagine people when y'all see these things happen, because that young man did that video, but we're not seeing the number plate clear. I can't remember if the number plate was clear. But when y'all video it as well, ensure you get the number plate. Get the number, the serial number, the vehicle number. And send it. Send it to me, man. Y'all got my number here. Send it to me. I will highlight it if you don't want to highlight it. We have to take care of each other. We have to look out for each other. Anyway, guys, I don't want to go much into more discussion here tonight. I have some other responsibilities. And also, before I close, I want to ask if you have anything to share, you can now call in. The number is 611-0200. The number is at the bottom of the screen. You can call in now to share it, and we can have a quick discussion on it. If you have a question, once I have the answer, I can answer you. All right. All right. So, if nothing else, guys, I want to thank you once again for being here on the program tonight. It's a pleasure and an honor to have your continued support. And remember, I will always be here unless it's really critical for me not to come on like last night. But I will always be here. And please ensure to continue to share the program, share the live as you come off, and we can work together in promoting my program, promoting the government's development, promoting the PVP, and also getting the message out there. So once again, thank you so much, Danwati Lutan. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and everyone else, Omar Sharif. And do have a blessed night. Tomorrow's Friday, and I will see you tomorrow night, definitely. So as of now, this is my time for tonight. and I'm out.
We are a peaceful people. Struggle is with struggle, and we don't look for trouble. Just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one caress, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow and never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere. Make no mistake, 'cause we ain't giving up no mountain, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one caress, not a blade of grass.